Your bedroom is supposed to be the safest place in your house until something inside it decides. You're not alone. Before we start, look around your room. But walls dot the door. They're corners where the light doesn't fully reach, because every video in this countdown was recorded inside a bedroom, a place designed for rest, quiet, and safety. But sometimes the very room meant to protect you becomes the place where the silence feels wrong. First clip begins with a small bedroom security camera pointed directly at a bed. Person sleeping lies motionless under a blanket. The only light comes from a faint night lamp near the floor. For several minutes, the room is perfectly still. Then the closet door slowly shifts open. It doesn't swing wide. It moves just enough to create a thin dark gap between the door and the frame. Then it stops. Person in the bed never wakes up. Camera continues recording the half-open closet for nearly a minute. Nothing comes out, but the door never closes again. And if you've ever tried sleeping with a closet door open behind you, you know how uncomfortable that feeling can be even when you know nothing is inside. Another video comes from a baby monitor placed on a shelf across a bedroom. A toddler sleeps quietly in a crib. The monitor records a soft humming sound through the night. At first it sounds like normal background noise, the kind electronic devices often produce. But after a few seconds, the sound begins to change. It starts to resemble a whisper. The toddler suddenly sits upright in the crib. For a few seconds, the child stares directly toward the corner of the room. Then slowly, the toddler waves. No one enters the room. No shadow appears. But the child continues looking at that same empty corner as if someone is standing there. Eventually, the toddler lies back down and falls asleep again. The whispering sound disappears. Parents reviewed the footage later. They couldn't explain why the child woke up or who they were waving to. One of the most unsettling bedroom recordings shows a night vision camera facing a simple bed against a wall. The room is dark except for the green glow of the camera's infrared light. A woman lies asleep under the covers. For nearly 2 minutes, nothing happens. Then the blanket begins to move. At first it shifts slightly, as if the woman adjusted in her sleep. But then the fabric pulls downward slowly, as if someone standing beside the bed is gently tugging on it. The blanket slides almost halfway off the mattress before stopping. The woman suddenly wakes up and sits upright. She looks toward the edge of the bed, but there's nothing there. When she turns the light on, the blanket remains partially pulled toward the floor. The footage ends there, and even though no figure appears on camera, the movement of the blanket alone is enough to make viewers uneasy, because blankets don't usually move on their own. In another clip, a bedroom door camera records the hallway outside. Room itself is dark, but the hallway light remains on. At around 3 a.m., the door handle slowly begins to turn. Not quickly, not violently, just enough for the latch to release. The door opens slightly. Camera angle shows the inside of the bedroom empty. The door remains open for several seconds. Then it slowly closes again. No one appears in the hallway. No footsteps echo in the house. Just the quiet sound of a handle turning. If you've ever slept with your door closed at night, imagine hearing that handle move while you're lying in bed. Even the smallest click would feel louder than it should. Another bedroom video shows something even stranger. A phone camera records a person lying in bed scrolling through messages before sleeping. Behind them, a tall mirror reflects part of the room. At first, everything looks normal. Then something in the mirror moves. Not the person holding the phone. Not the blanket. Something behind them. The reflection shows a dark shape crossing the room. But when the person turns around, the room is empty. They check the hallway. Nothing. When the video is replayed, the shadow in the mirror remains visible. A shape moving across a room that appeared empty only seconds later. Mirrors are unsettling because they show spaces from angles you normally can't see. And sometimes, they show something else entirely. Another recording captures a small bedroom where a laptop sits open on a desk. The room is silent. The screen goes dark as the computer enters sleep mode. Then the laptop suddenly lights up again. The webcam activates. The screen glows softly in the dark room. No one touched the keyboard. After several seconds, the laptop closes itself. Slowly down as if someone gently pushed the screen downward. No figure appears. No hand enters frame. But the lid shuts completely, and the room returns to darkness. Technology glitches happen, of course. But when it happens in a bedroom at night, the silence around it makes the moment feel far more personal. One of the creepiest bedroom clips begins with a person sleeping peacefully on their side. The camera sits across the room. For several minutes, the room remains still. Then the person suddenly sits upright. Their eyes remain closed. They begin speaking softly, but the voice doesn't sound like their own. The words are quiet and unclear. For about 10 seconds, they stop speaking and lie back down. The next morning, they claim they never woke up. Sleep talking is common, but the tone of the voice in this clip is what unsettles viewers. It sounds calm, almost conversational, as if the person was responding to someone else in the room. Another video shows a bedroom ceiling camera facing downward. The room is completely empty. Bed remains untouched. Suddenly the pillow shifts, just slightly. Then it moves again, slowly sliding across the mattress. It stops near the center of the bed. No wind blows. No person enters. Pillow simply moves, then stays still. It's a small detail, but bedroom objects usually stay exactly where you left them. Seeing one move without explanation changes the way you think about your own room. One recording captures a bedroom where a small nightlight glows beside the bed. A person sleeps quietly under the covers. The light suddenly flickers once. Then again, the room darkens briefly. Then the light returns. But during that brief moment of darkness, the shape on the wall changes. When the light comes back on, the shadow is gone. No object moved. No one entered. But something interrupted the light long enough to create a shape that didn't belong. And for many viewers, shadows appearing where they shouldn't are more disturbing than seeing something clearly. Because shadows suggest presence without revealing it. The final video might be the simplest and the most unsettling. Bedroom camera records someone sleeping. The door to the room is slightly open. The hallway beyond is dark. For several minutes, nothing happens. Then the door slowly opens wider. No hand appears. No footsteps approach. But the door continues moving until the hallway becomes fully visible. Then it stops. The room remains silent. Person sleeping never wakes. Camera continues recording the open doorway, leading into complete darkness. And that's where the clip ends. Bedrooms are supposed to be safe places. They're where we close our eyes and trust that the world outside can wait until morning. But these videos remind us that sometimes the quietest rooms can hide the strangest moments. Doors move, objects shift, shadows appear, and sometimes the things we think are harmless nighttime noises become something harder to explain. So tonight, when you turn off the lights and lie down in your own bedroom, you might remember one of these clips. Not because you saw a ghost clearly, but because something in those rooms felt just slightly wrong. And once that feeling enters your mind, even your own bedroom might start to feel a little less comfortable, especially when you're alone.